In this video, I'm going to show you how to use custom functions to write to nested fields in a MongoDB document. First things first, here's a space that I've slightly modified out of what was created for me when I hooked up my MongoDB. So the table was automatically generated for me when I created my default spaces, but I've added the add button and the delete button. All of these buttons are powered by out-of-the-box functions that were generated for me. And I can get pretty far with this. So I can go ahead and add a user. In this case, we're using a Silicon Valley TV show theme. So I'm going to enter in Gavin Belson. Great, he was added. But this JSON field isn't the most user-friendly. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a custom function that allows me to enter a first name and last name instead of JSON for the name. So if I go in and I edit the space, I can see that this add button was powered by my out-of-the-box function. Great, but let's add a custom function. So I can go in and add my Mongo functions here in the function editor. And I'm just going to say, let me call this function add user deluxe. And it's going to do an insert, but we support a lot of different functionality within Mongo. So you can use aggregate pipelines. You can also update, delete. You can see here that you can go in and edit those queries as well. But for now, we're going to use insert, and we're going to insert into the users collection. And I've got some code that's pre-baked, so you don't have to watch me type. And I'm just going to enter it in here. Now, what you see here is for all of the keys, this is basically defining my document, just like you normally would. But the values are actually interpreted as JavaScript variables, which we detect as parameters. And so you can use these parameters as inputs to your functions. You can even assign permissions to them. But in this example, we won't do that. So first name, let's just test it with test and tester and test at test.com. All right, I'm going to run this function, and it's actually doing an insert into my database. Because it's a demo database, I don't really mind, but if I did mind, I could always configure environments and test against different environments when I'm developing my functions. So cool, everything looks good. We're going to save this, and we're going to go back and use it. So now I'm going to go and power my button by the add user deluxe function that I just created, which now you'll see the difference. I have an email field, which I always had, but now I have first name and last name. And so I'm going to save this and publish and go back into my form, and I can see my new form that was generated off my function. And I'm going to go ahead and enter some information and submit. And this data just wrote to my nested fields when the function executed. And so that's how you do it. That's how you use custom functions to write to nested fields in a Mongo document.